Question, does this contretemps help or hurt Obama? Michelle Bernard.
Oh, I think this is, I said earlier this week, this Jesse Jackson is the gift that just keeps giving for Barack Obama. I think this is absolutely nothing but good news for Barack Obama.
Why?
Because he is the presumptive Democratic nominee. If he wins the election, his challenge will be not only to represent African Americans, but he will be representing the entire nation. He represents a completely different generational shift from what we saw coming out of our 1960s civil rights black leadership, in the sense that he has no fear about going out in public and talking about the importance of personal responsibility, not only for the nation as a whole, but for the black community. And that is completely different than Jesse Jackson.
Okay, let's nail this thing down. And here's a sample of what Jackson apparently sees as Obama disparaging the black community.
If we're honest with ourselves, we'll admit that too many fathers are also missing. Too many fathers are MIA. Too many fathers are AWOL. Missing from too many lives and too many homes. They've abandoned their responsibilities. They're acting like boys instead of men. And the foundations of our family have suffered because of it. You and I know this is true everywhere, but nowhere is it more true than in the African American community.
Question, does it frost Jackson, Jesse Jackson, that someone like Obama, who fits the stereotype blacks once labeled as an Oreo, a black on the outside, a white on the inside, that an Oreo should be the beneficiary of the long civil rights struggle which Jesse Jackson spends his lifetime fighting for? Peter Bernard.
Who knows what Jesse Jackson is thinking, but that's a completely unfair depiction of Barack Obama, who the genius of Barack Obama is that he moves seamlessly between the African-American world and the white world in a way that even Bill Clinton couldn't possibly match. And the tragedy of this experience is that, you know who's spoken very eloquently for many, many years about personal responsibility in the black community? Jesse Jackson. He, of all people, should recognize, in fact, that what Barack Obama is saying is not contrary to the message of the civil rights movement. It is in keeping with that message.
Now let's nail it down a little bit more for the sake of Jackson. The question is this. Jackson's point of contention is this. This is the exit question. The point of contention is that instead of Obama solely lecturing African Americans on parental duty, particularly fathers, he should also give equal attention to the large and many believe prejudicial incarceration rate for blacks, their lack of economic opportunities, and other public policy issues that limit choices for black males. Why doesn't Obama hit that as hard as he hits individual parental responsibility? That's what Jackson's complaining
Barack
about.
Obama doesn't talk about jobs and health care. He talks about it all the time. If you want him to talk about the fact that there are too many people in prison, then you're asking him to do something that will lose him the election. That is politically, no serious political strategist. He's a man trying to win the presidency, John.
He's exactly what Jeremiah Wright says he is. He will do whatever is necessary to win.
He's a practical politician.
He has been saying
This is
forever.
a generational shift. Jesse Jackson Jr. put out a statement basically saying, Dad, time to leave the stage. There is a disconnect in terms of style and tactics from the older civil rights generation to the generation that Obama is from and that he's trying to attract.
Does Jackson have a legitimate point?
No, he doesn't. I'll
Why?
tell you why, John. Here's why. What Barack Obama is saying is a message that needs to be heard. It's the Bill Cosby message.
Yes.
It is, look, this is our responsibility. These are our families. The white society is not responsible for our kids dropping out of schools or using drugs or going on welfare. We are. What Jesse Jackson says is the white community's responsible, and they've got to solve our problems.
Isn't this the oddity of the century where Barack Obama is a conservative and Jesse Jackson is a liberal?
Well, Jesse Jackson used to talk
Isn't that an oddity?
No, it is an oddity, but I want to go back to the point you made about whether or not Barack Obama is an Oreo, because if Barack Obama is an Oreo, then every member of this generation of African Americans is an Oreo, because we stand on the shoulders of the people who fought for our rights, and all of us say that you cannot blame the man or white racism for everything that ails the black community.
What about changing public policy where it needs to be changed?
Well, you change public policy,
isn't the problem.
also, what Jesse Jackson, if I can finish my point, what Jesse Jackson came out and said when he gave his his quote-unquote apology the next day was Barack Obama should be demanding more government programs for African Americans, and that's wrong.
As Jack White, a former Time magazine writer, says, that it's disorienting for the black community when the man might be the guy in the Oval Office. And so everybody's making some adjustments here, but Barack Obama is handling his role beautifully, and that is to relate to America as a broad population.
A cane in the gaff grinder.